But not only the Jewish race found itself victims of the power of seduction or persuasion wielded by this system of conveniences. Countless Roman women, emigrating from the capital or the empire, felt honored to be courted by Tiberius' procurator and flaunted this status with a pride that pointed to the superiority of their gifts over those of others. For many women, often accustomed to emotional struggles, to the gatherings of conquest, imagining that such victories represent superiority over others, being under the covers of Pilate's bed signified the preference of the most important official. Therefore, many Roman women, even married or engaged, willingly accepted, when not insinuating themselves, the courtship of the procurator, accustomed to the ease with which his base desires were satisfied. This lack of moral barriers made it common for him to abuse his physical senses and exchange companions, since, once these became habitual and the desired conquest was achieved, he lost interest in maintaining them. Pilate, therefore, gradually became a man weakened by emotions and unable to control his own impulses, accustomed to always getting what he wanted without being contradicted by anyone. However, despite such peculiarities, he continued to be coveted by many young women and ladies, who saw in him the power that would fill the void of meaningful adventures in a land so insipid of emotions, like the great imperial capital that was losing itself in the debauchery of customs. Proud and without much inclination toward respectful behavior, Fulvia, Pilate's sister-in-law, was the prototype of this type of woman, irresponsible in the face of adventures and conscious of her beauty and youth, which seemed to grant her all the doors to the highest levels of power. Married to Salvius because of shared interests, she made it clear to her husband early on that she would not be satisfied with the comfortable life of patrician tradition, devoted to housework and raising numerous offspring to ensure her descendants and the longevity of the empire. She desired parties and receptions, entertainment and pleasures. Salvius, a man weak in the face of emotional and material things, had been the focus of a serious scandal that exploded in the upper echelons of Roman society and cost him his public office. Having been stripped of his duties, he was relegated to a lower administrative post as a form of humiliation and eventually banished to faraway lands, as was common in Roman administrative practice. His union with a provocatively beautiful young woman was his way of affronting others and making himself the envy of other men, taking revenge on them with the ostentation of a woman coveted by them all, even if, to do so, he had to endure Fulvia's vanity, interests, and endless desires.